Welcome to Never Rewrite. I'm Isaac Askew.
And I'm Jeffrey Sherman. And today we have a special Fuck Up Friday from my past. So, 10-ish years ago, the story is from 10-ish years ago. I was working at a company. It was doing, and still does, ad buying. So when you go online and you see ads, the obvious example would be you go look at something on Amazon, and then for the next week, everywhere you go, you see ads for the thing that you looked at but didn't buy on Amazon.
I hate that.
It was doing that kind of work. It's not the same company. It was actually way more advanced and moderately more effective. So this specific bug that I had found, I was reading through the code and I came across a function that said time elapsed in seconds. And I'm looking at this function, and I'm like, this is returning milliseconds. This is time elapsed in milliseconds. So no tests around this function, so I read a test, confirm it is indeed returning time in milliseconds. So I do the rational thing, which is I fix it, right, so that it's returning time. Obviously, what I should do is fix the function to return time in seconds, like the function name says, and not. I'll give it away. What I really should have done, which is change the name of the function to time elapsed in milliseconds.
Okay.
So I change the function and I update the test that I wrote, and I check it. You get a code reviewed, and everyone's like, "Oh, yeah, it was milliseconds, and now it's seconds, and you've written a test. Perfect. Seems to make sense to everybody else. Nobody else realizes it's a terrible thing that I was doing." And we go and we put it in production, and all of a sudden, boom, like that, everybody's budget gets blown because I just increased the speed by a factor of 1,000.
So wait, what was it doing?
It was part of the budgeting. So the way the system worked is you would say, I want to spend $10,000 a month. And we'd say, okay, $10,000 a month. There's 30 days in the month. So we're going to spend, what is that? $33 a day, which means we want to spend, $1.50 an hour, which means we want to spend 2 cents a minute or whatever the numbers may be. And so it was breaking it down into milliseconds. It was all about how much money do we want to spend per millisecond. But at some point, it had been about seconds. How much do we want to spend per second? And it had become how much we want to spend per millisecond.
Got it. So this thing was a ceiling on your budget. It was acting as a ceiling.
Yes.
Got it. Okay.
Right. It was used in calculating how much time had elapsed to figure out how much of your budget was left. Because as time went on, this is called retargeting. So we would be tracking specific people, and if they turned up, we wanted to show them ads. And if nobody on your list showed up, we didn't want to show any ads.
Right.
And so, as time went on, if you didn't spend your, if you had a lot of people and they showed up, we'd spend your full budget, and it would just keep at a steady pace, steady. But if nobody was showing up, then we would steadily increase the amount of money we were willing to pay for when people did show up, so that we could spend your budget. And because if we don't show any ads, then clearly it's not going to be effective.
Mm-hmm.
And so this bug of mine, I basically speeded everything up by a factor of 1,000. And so $50,000 an hour budgets got spent in 10 seconds.
Oh, Jesus.
But then it stopped because it used up the whole budget for the hour.
Uh-huh.
And so it wouldn't do it again. And it was really difficult for my coworkers to figure out what went wrong, because this is in 10 years ago, it was not continuous delivery. We did, I'm going to go weekly deploys, but it might have been bi-weekly, like once every other week. And so, like, they were looking through and they saw that I had fixed the bug. And but there were tests, right? And the test made sense, and the function did exactly what the test said it should do, and it all made sense. until they realized that I added the test
Mm-hmm.
at the same time that I fixed the bug. So eventually we found it. After this little incident, I think we had to give back like $50,000 in refunds to our customers.
Oh, okay, okay. So it was only for. I thought it was like 50,000 per customer for a lot of customers.
It was a lot, but also those ads that we showed had value.
Ah,
And so we
I
had to
see.
give them a refund, but also the refund included our
Minus the value. Yeah.
right, because if we were charging, I don't know, we charged like double what we were paying, so that we'd have a profit margin. Spending their 50,000 only cost us 25, but then we didn't give it all back because,
Gotcha.
hey, like we did show the ads, and the ads were effective. We can show you the numbers. We just didn't. We didn't show your ads at a smooth, steady rate like we promised, but we did show your ads, and they were effective. This is where you have a good relationship and you have a good take. So, in honor of this especially bad screw up, at the next quarterly all hands meeting, I got a lovely clock to help me with my time.
No way. That's the clock that you got?
It is the clock. And I pointed out, look, it does, not only does it not have a millisecond hands, it doesn't have a second hands.
Mm.
But Myron,
So
if you're
for our
watching,
listeners who are not on YouTube, Jeffrey's holding up
an
an
old-fashioned
analog clock
Yes.
that he got. Excellent.
Because
Better a clock than be fired.
this goes back to things that we say many times. It's really unlikely that if you make a boneheaded, dumb mistake as a programmer, that they would fire you. Right? Here's a mistake. I made it. I got other people to approve it.
True.
It cost the
That kinda
company
helps.
real money.
Yeah.
And my punishment was I was gifted with a gag gift at the next quarterly all hands. And we all had a laugh about
Excellent.
it.
That's really the best outcome.
Right. It's the only good outcome is everyone got a laugh out of it. It's like, because I had clearly was intending well. I found code that didn't do what it said it did. And I wrote a test. And it was approved.
The lesson here is characterize existing behavior rather than force behavior to adhere to comments or function names.
Yes, if you want a general takeaway, it's when you're looking at legacy code, look at what the code does is correct. The name of what it's supposed to do is not necessarily correct. Because what I should have done would be to write the test, prove that it was in milliseconds, and then change the name of the function to be milliseconds and call it a day, not touch the original function at all. That would have been the correct thing to do. But then we wouldn't have had a good story. And isn't that what it's all about?
Who knew that years later that would be an episode?
Yes. Years later. All right. Well, thank you for listening. I'm Jeffrey Sherman.
And I'm Isaac Askew, and this is Never Rewrite.